everyone, my name is Chrissy and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a book review of Beautiful Bastard by Christina. It's been a bit since I've done a book review for BookTube, but it sounds about right that I would do it on this book. The reason why I say that is because I've been reading a lot of romance lately, and I actually typically don't read romance with a lot of smut in it, but oh boy, this was smut o'clock. This book is an enemies to lovers romance. We have two characters. One is Chloe, who is an intern at this media conglomerate, and she is doing her best to start her career by finishing up a project for her degree so that she can present that project and hopefully be able to, score a good paying job. The COO that she's interning under is Bennett Ryan. He is the second main character in this book. Bennett is a little bit of a bastard, a beautiful bastard. He is not the nicest of people. Like, he's not outright rude all the time, but he's a pretty intense person who believes that people should work as hard as he works. So if he thinks that someone's not working as hard or that they're being lazy, then he has a tendency to be not kind at all. He's rude as heck to Chloe, but that's not because she's lazy. In fact, she's very capable and she's very hardworking, but rather he and her just don't get along due to, first impressions that he gave to her and then she gave attitude back, and it kind of went into this back and forth for years. So the book starts out with them hating each other's guts, and then they sleep together in, I think the first chapter in a conference room where all that hatred spills into sexual tension, and they do stuff in the conference room that the conference room is not for. So our story begins. This continues on in the same vein where they both say, oh, we're not going to do this anymore, because it's also a dual perspective. So they alternate between chapters, like the first chapter is Chloe, then the next chapter is Bennett, and so on and so forth. And so each of them say, I'm not doing this again. This cannot last. This cannot stand anymore. And then they do it again and again and again in all sorts of different places. At some point, they go on a trip together for a business conference, and it goes on from there. This book is pretty much about their developing relationships and the feelings that they develop for each other along the way. Concurring plot that happens that is tied into the main enemies to lovers plot is that Chloe is trying to finish her project and she's doing her best to work on that. So that's something else that's happening throughout this book. So I'm actually going to start with things that I didn't particularly like, and there's not a lot. This is actually a good book for me. Really, it's like the amount of horizontal tango scenes that there is got me a bit like, what is happening? Why? Like, you guys don't need to do that there. But it wasn't enough to pull me away from the actual story going on between those two, but it just, for me, that was a lot. And it's funny because Mindy from Mindy's Book Journey told me that there was going to be a lot in it, and I believed her, but I just didn't think it was that much. For a while, I think it's like almost every chapter, for like 5 chapters, there's a scene like that, and probably more now that I think on it. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about the things I liked about it, which is quite a lot. For one, I actually liked how the author portrayed an enemies to lovers trope, because I think that sometimes that vitriol that two characters will have for each other at the beginning gets offset too quickly. And in Beautiful Bastard, I think that there was a lovely balance of them not liking each other and then there being reason why they don't like each other, and how slowly that ebbed off throughout the book. And even when they do start to have feelings for each other and when they do get together, there's still actually problems personality-wise between the two, because the things that they didn't like about each other didn't go away. Like, it just that they saw each other in a whole different light and they started to have more empathy towards each other. I liked that. I liked that even when they were together, there's going to be certain things that just caused them to butt heads, and that they had to really work on, communicating with each other in a way that said, oh, I see that you're not just being rude or you're not just being mean, that this is what you meant and this is how you're communicating. I wouldn't call it miscommunication, but rather not being able to read each other's intentions even when plain language is being spoken. I thought that was really well done and well handled. I was actually pretty surprised. I shouldn't have been, but I was. This book hit some of my guilty pleasures in reading romance books, and one of them is like the jealousy trope kind of going on, where another person kind of comes in and another character gets jealous. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. And I thought that was also handled well. This book had a good amount of show and tell. So sometimes with romance novels, and especially ones that go into first person, sometimes telling can be much more than showing. And what I mean by that is like a character thinking in their head, oh, I don't like them because they're rude, versus showing that the person's rude in like a scene, like having that person actually say something that's like, excuse me, sir, or ma'am. There's that whole aspect that I thought was really done well, of this balance of Chloe saying like, hey, he's a little bastard, and then it being shown in another scene. It's not just us taking this character's word but never seeing it. It's us actually getting this balance that happens. Also, I really like the pacing. This is a really short read, and the pacing, it's quick, and I think the whole story only takes place within a 2-month period, and so the writing reflected that, I thought, rather well. So yeah, I liked all of those aspects. I did like the characters. I liked Chloe far more than I liked Bennett. Chloe, I thought, was a little bit more well-rounded of a character than Bennett. If I had one quibble as far as Bennett's character, it's that I wish there was more background to him. Like, we get that he is the son of this media mogul who owns his company, and we get a little bit of interaction between like his brother and his dad and his mom. But really, I didn't feel like there was a solid scene that gave us a why Bennett is the way he is type of scene, whereas with Chloe, she gets a lot of those type of scenes of, okay, she's ambitious because these are her goals, and we can see that in a scene. She's professional, but she's also fun, and we see those two different scenes. So I wish that was done more with Bennett. Otherwise, I just really like this book. I think if you like the tropes that I have mentioned, this is going to be the book for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have read this book, please comment down below what you thought. Did you like it? Did you not like it? If you liked it, did you like it for the same reasons or different ones? If you didn't like it, why you didn't like it? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and as always and forever, may you get lost in a book.